I didn't catch them in Miami. I didn't even visit the scene.
Why was that, Mr. West?
Tired, I guess. I'd been chasing this nut job for months by that point, and now that Katie was confirmed to be in his company, it was a lot for one man to take in.
How did you think Katie was involved, Mr. West? She was always one to be driven by danger, correct?
It's a strange, fucked up situation you're in if you're hoping, praying that your own daughter had been snatched away by a madman. It was better than the alternatives.
It must have crossed your mind that Katie was, in fact, the killer all along? It would have been clever, really, faking her own death to escape an abusive father. How was your relationship with your daughter, Mr. West?
God damn you. I finally caught them a few weeks later, out in the middle of nowhere. His car just pulled up onto a dirt path.
What was he doing, Mr. West?
I'd been staring at photos of Katie every night for the last month. The ink had started to run off where I'd been pressing the corners so tightly.
What was he doing, Mr. West?
He was admiring his handiwork.
I wouldn't worry, Mr. West. The chances are it's what she wanted anyway. To be one of his works of art, so to speak.
Fuck you. I was ready to put a bullet in the back of his head there and then. It would have been so easy, so satisfying. It was what he deserved.
What changed your mind?
I'm a cop, Darius. The American people rely on figures like myself to uphold the law. Killing him would have made us one and the same.
How very noble of you, John.
Once again, fuck you. But you know, the world is a funny way of showing gratitude for such selfless acts.
I assume you're referring to the blinding light that apparently engulfed your car.
I still have no idea what it was, or what caused it. I guess this terror of darkness has somehow found a friend in the light. And of course, when I came to, I found my car had made a strong connection with rather incompatible foliage. Worse still, my back seat was devoid of serial killers. The descent, a violent maelstrom. Nature has a way of bringing the most devious of minds back down to earth. And shortly after the Sawmill Massacre, our psychopath succumbed to the outdoors, of all things.
Really now, Mr. West, can we stop with the cliched storytelling? This isn't a tale from Narnia. How could you possibly know his motivations for being in that wood? Perhaps he wanted to feel closer to nature. Perhaps he was tired of killing. Just maybe he wanted to feel closer to his victims.
All I know is, when the cops turned up to search the surrounding areas, they turned up nothing. And this was a place right out in the middle of nowhere, so it wasn't like he could have gone far. There was only one possible explanation. He'd managed to hitch a ride out of there.
You think he called the paramedics himself?
Well, it makes sense, right? Splatter yourself with some of the blood at a mass murder scene and the medics aren't exactly going to be picky about who they pick up. He's breathing, so you get him to the wagon ASAP. Of course, this particular victim was breathing a little too well for his or their own good. I guess they may be adding a new phrase to the ambulance protocol handbook. Never give drugs to a psychopath. His craft continued onwards for the next few weeks at pretty full force.
As I understand it, his newfound experience with medicinal drugs really got him fired up, correct?
He just became unrelenting, and the public were completely losing confidence in the police force. Well, no, they'd already lost all confidence. Now they were forming task forces and going out onto the streets themselves looking for him. He even had followers by this point, groups of people who saw what he was doing as some kind of means to a human utopia. We just couldn't keep up with him.
We're getting close to the end of the story. Isn't that right, John?
A bunch of his avid followers, his so-called party harders, were said to be holding a party down in the San Francisco subway after hours.
And you heard about the party just in time to catch him. Is that correct?
That's what I was hoping.
What was your plan exactly? The last time you encountered this man, it didn't exactly swing in your favor.
I knew exactly what I had to do. It was plain and simple. He had to be stopped.
So, tell me, John, did you find what you were looking for down here?
You fucking tell me, Darius.
You know, John, we're not really that different, you and I. You can make out like you're the heart of gold and I'm the malicious prick here, but you never really tried to stop me, did you?
You say that like I had a choice.
You always had a choice, John. You know that. You're not weak. You allowed me to do these things, John, and now you want to justify it all to yourself. Wash your hands clean of any wrongdoing.
I'm not like you.
Come on, John. Sooner or later you're going to have to admit it to yourself. You enjoy the rush just as much as I do. The splatter, the silence.
But do they really deserve this?
John, look around you. The world is falling to shit. These people, they don't realize how good they've got it. We're doing them all a favor.
But
John, you just spent the last half hour sat here trying to convince yourself what we're doing is wrong. What have you learned?
Someone needs to be thinking about the bigger picture, I guess.
There you go, John. You get it now. Let it go.
Come on, Darius. Let's go home.